Onward, Portage, ever onward, fight to victory. Blue and gold forever fighting, here's our cheer to thee. Fighting Mustangs, loyal boosters, here's to do or die. All for the fame of our school, Portage High. Rah, rah, sis, boom, ba, Portage Central, rah, rah, rah.
Good morning, Mustangs, and welcome to PC Good News, a weekly broadcast bringing you this week's happiest of headlines. I'm Mrs. Honeysett, reporting live from the Welcome Center, where I have been waiting for seniors to bum rush me with their senior checkout slips to no avail. Well, at least none of you had to try and find Mr. King hiding in camo to check you out. We have devoted today's broadcast entirely to the class of 2020. Even someone with perfect vision could never have predicted this outcome, but here we are. In light of the shelter-in-place orders, parents and administration have gone all out, planning special moments for this year's graduating class. With more on that, let's check in with Mr. Albertus, Mr. Frank, and Ms. Salisbury on some of the events these past few weeks. Can you tell us a little bit about how the planning was put together for our senior days that are coming up?
So many people have contributed to me, so many people, but truly the brains behind the operations have been Tama Salisbury, Jason Frank, and Jody Shear. I mean, they have thought through every possibility, from making sure that we're taking care of the staff who are working that night so they have the appropriate protection gear to make sure they can do their work, to the students, making sure the students can do all the things they need to do from the safety of their car, to making sure that we spread it throughout the week so that kids can come in, get things taken care of, get their cap and gown, and enjoy the rest of the experience. So they're not getting bogged down and waiting in long lines. I mean, we've never done this before, and who knows how it'll actually turn out, but it could not be better organized than it is right now.
Anything else that you want to say about what's been going on to get all of us ready behind the scenes for the end of the year?
Well, if I may share my gratitude with our seniors and their parents. For weeks, they have been sharing ideas. They've been showing me things about what other schools are doing. They are incredibly encouraging. Over the last few weeks, as we try to find our own way, it's been hard. It's been a bunch of dead ends, things we explored and we realized we couldn't do for one reason or another. And because of all of that feedback, now we have a way forward. We have an idea of what we're going to do as we head into our graduation night, our real graduation night, and doing some fun things there that people can experience, to what we're doing in August. It just feels so good to have a path ahead of us that we can work on. And none of that would have been possible had seniors and their parents, I mean, they have been so patient, so thoughtful, so sharing of ideas. I am just beyond grateful.
Ms. Salisbury and Mr. Frank, thank you so much for joining me today. How long did it actually take for the whole plan to come together before we were ready to pass out all those things to those seniors?
It took weeks, weeks of planning. It wasn't like we could just one day decide we were going to distribute stuff and then the next day have it happen. A lot of it was Mr. Frank communicating with our county officials, actually, to make sure that we could actually do the plan.
We have a very collaborative team in our building that when we were working on things like this, we would have video meetings trying to talk about it, and then we have this ongoing Google Doc that Salisbury puts together, and then everybody would just, as they had an idea, they would jump in and work on it. So we would work on it separately, but sometimes you'd be working on it and see other people working on it. But at the end of the day, we had to make sure that this plan aligned with what worked for our building, for our students, for our seniors, but then also what was going to coordinate with what Northern was doing. Together, we had to communicate our plan to the health department to make sure that they were feeling comfortable with it, and with the Portage Police to make sure that, again, that we were doing everything we needed to do in order to keep everybody safe and still make it so that the event was functional and had a little bit of meaning to it too.
Do you have an idea of how many seniors actually came over the course of those 4 nights?
I believe we had all but about 12 envelopes remaining from our seniors. So we had a really good turnout, which was awesome.
Some of those 12 were either, exchange students that have already gone home. or people who potentially have moved or whatever. I mean, we were really, really happy with the turnout. It was great to see all the seniors there.
Yeah, mostly it was our seniors and their families. That was the vast majority of people, which was the best part of it, was to be able to see their faces.
Yeah, and of course, when we say get to see their faces, we kind of get to see their faces.
Right, with your face shields and your masks. Do you have any favorite standout moments? Anything in particular that was moving or exciting that you remember?
On the nights where I got to be at the envelope station, like distributing something to the students, inside the envelope was a picture of the students from the time that they entered Portage Public Schools until today. And so I wouldn't reach in the envelope because, contamination or whatever. But I would squeeze the envelope so they could see inside. And then for some of the kids, I would encourage them to pull it out themselves. And then just seeing them laugh, it was nice. It was touching to be able to see that. And if there were a family member in the car in the back or whatever, they'd pass it around. That was probably my favorite part, was seeing that moment.
Me, because I've been doing this whole assistant principal thing for a while, and all the award ceremonies, I read the names, but I've never been able to actually give anybody their award before. So this was the first time ever that I got to actually present people with their Platinum Academic Award or their Service Award or things like that. And so that was really, that was meaningful to me. So, and it was great. There was one student, and I don't want to say who it was because I don't want to embarrass her. She was trying to keep it together. She's like, I told myself I'm not going to cry. We're going to get through this. And so she made it through my station, and then she went down to Mr. Albertus, and made it up until the point that he handed her the cap and ground. And then she was just, she just lost it. And, it was a real moment,
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool. It was that human connection that I think we've been missing. I think was really something that I wasn't expecting to come out, and really came out.
As much as we all wanted to be there to pass out caps and gowns and locker contents, special shout outs to Mr. Forrester, Mr. Moore, and Mr. Schaefer for cleaning out those PE lockers, us teachers stayed away for the health and safety of all. Let's take a look at some of the special moments from last week's distribution days. And now, a check of the weather.
Hey everybody, News Channel 3 Sports Director Andy Pepper here. Huge golf match yesterday. We had Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, Tom Brady, and of course...
Honey, it's the weather. This is the weather segment.
I do sport.
No, the weather. The weather.
There's some 8s, some 7s, some 2s, partly sunny, partly cloudy. There's going to be rain when it's not sunny. Back to you.
Before we head over to hear more from Miss Moore, see what I did there? I'd like to leave you, my seniors, with a few thoughts. And I'm going to try to get through this without crying. But you know how that goes. As you move forward, remember that we is greater than me. Anything that we have ever accomplished during our time here, we have done together. Second, believe there is good in the world. If you can see it, you can be it. Lastly, thank you for taking risks, for being brave, for trying new things, and for inspiring me on a daily basis. And now, to Miss Moore.
Thanks, Liz. All right. This week, as we celebrate our seniors in what would have been their graduation week, we wanted to take a few moments to highlight a few senior representatives to discuss the various pathways our graduates will take as they leave high school. What are you planning to do next year?
Next year, I will be attending MSU to study molecular genetics in the Lyman Briggs College. My next year actually starts in about a month. I leave for the United States Air Force as a 1N3X1 cryptologic linguist analyst, which is a huge fancy saying for translator.
Why did you choose this path?
I chose this path because I'm thinking in the future I'm going to want to be some sort of laboratory geneticist.
And I chose this path because I wanted something a little different than the rest of my classmates.
What's something that PC has done to prepare you for your next stages?
PC has prepared me for my future by making me much more willing to step outside of my comfort zone.
Something that Portage Central has done for me to prepare me for the next stages is the teachers and staff and some of my classmates have really given me a sense of determination and perseverance to keep going, which is something I'm really gonna need in the armed forces.
What are some words of wisdom you have for others who might be thinking about heading down the same path?
So words of wisdom that I have for people who might pursue the same path as me, the biggest thing is don't be afraid. It sounds really scary to be away from friends and family. It sounds so terrifying to start something new that you don't know what you're getting into, but I promise, once you look back on it, it will be probably the funniest part of your life.
Finally, what is your favorite memory from PC?
One of my favorite memories from this year would have to either be cross-country camp or the senior sunrise, where all the seniors woke up super early and we went down to McCamley and watched the sunrise together.
Oh, my favorite memory from Portage Central. I think French class. I can't pick out one specific thing about French class. It's just walking into French class every day it's kind of been my favorite part of the day.
Even as we have been apart, our seniors have still shown their PC pride with their successful showing in the KIA Area Art Show and Michigan Film Festival. Congratulations to all of the artists. And now let's take a look at some of their work.
I just wanted someone to care. Sorry, Alex.
As you leave this place, seniors, we want to be sure that you take with you some of the wisdom your teachers have to offer. Managing finances is a major part of being a responsible adult. So for some wise words on how to use your money, let's turn to our personal finance teacher, Mr. Larner.
Hi, this is Mr. Larner, bringing to you some personal finance tips for the week. I've been talking with Dave about some good investment options in 2020 because, as you know, a lot of the economy has been not doing so well lately, especially if it's companies that depend on sports or crowds or things like Carnival cruises or any sort of amusement park or really anything like that. It's going to be following this red trajectory. So I'd like to focus on some companies that should be doing well in 2020 and that we strongly advise, and by we I mean Dave and I, that you invest all of your money into these companies right now. These companies include 3M, Purell, and Lysol, both great disinfectants, but be sure to use them just as they are intended. They should not be used in any other way. Another great company is Charmin. Charmin is at an all-time high right now. People just cannot get enough of their products. And lastly, companies like Netflix or Hulu. It's pretty much the only thing people are doing right now, so they're great companies to invest in. Really, if you invest in these, there's no reason to diversify or do anything else. These are the only companies you need to be focused on when you are investing in 2020.
Finally, I just wanted to take a moment to remind you, seniors, to breathe. If I've had the pleasure of teaching you this year, then you know that we started many a class with a mindful moment. The proof in the pudding is here. All your daily thoughts of what was going on with you. I miss that so much. So I'm going to reminisce for a moment. The many, many cards about how tired you were in the morning. the desire for coffee throughout the day. Those of you, Jaden Sorensen, who woke up vibing on a regular basis, or Addie Jarrett, it's a good day. My regular sports updates from Smitty, from Anna, the drawings on a daily basis from Ken Kalasa and Acacia Robertson. The life updates and the wonderings about the future from Haley Larrabee and Taylor Pop. And finally, the many beautiful poems from Nick Theobald. So let's pause here at the end and just take a moment to breathe. And now over to Sarcastic Corner with Mr. Halloran.
I can't wait for social distancing to stop so someone can hand me this stupid microphone. Hello, seniors. Today I played my favorite game, play with your facial hair. The last few weeks I've looked like a deranged Santa Claus's cousin. Today I kind of look like a deranged Civil War reenactor. So still no social media to speak of. That's fine. I told you we'd figure it out. So we reached out and got some messages from some familiar faces who couldn't say goodbye. Let's watch those now.
Hasta luego.
Moikka ja kiitos kaikesta Portage Central.
Arrivederci Portage Central. I miss you so much.
Serdecznie dziękuję, że mogłem wspólnie z wami spędzić w waszej szkole wspaniały dla mnie rok nauki.
Tchau,
Adeus, PC. Eu vou sentir muito a falta de vocês.
Ciao dall'Italia.
Arego.
So one of the joys of having seniors is giving them some life lessons. So here are a few things that I'd like to let all the seniors know as they move on. Number one, life's not fair. There will be rough times, obviously, but that is what makes life worth living. Number two, respect yourself and those around you. When the world has respect, great things happen. When it doesn't, number three, don't be afraid to ask questions. I didn't ask anyone what I should wear today. Look at what I picked out. Number four, be early. You show everyone around you that you respect their time and yours. Number five, don't run away from things. Run toward something else. Number six, be passionate about something. Life is better when you have something that you're happy about. Number seven, live a life for the future, but don't forget the present. And number eight, use your education. You have been blessed to have 13 years of great teachers who have cared for you. Even if it isn't the proper tense of a French verb, the quadratic formula, or the difference between primary and secondary colors, your teachers have prepared you to leave PC with your heads held high, proud to be Mustangs.
Good morning, Mustangs! Here come your morning announcements for Friday, May 29th, 2020. Senior Skip Days. For the first time ever, we are announcing that we are holding official Senior Skip Days. For this year only, your Senior Skip Days are May and April and some of March. Congratulations to the class of 2020 for setting a new school record. There is not a single missing homework assignment for the entire senior class for the fourth quarter. Take that, senioritis. from your athletic department at PC Mustang Sports on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course PCMustangSports.com. This week, your senior class challenged PC staff to a virtual homecoming tug-of-war rematch. Some say the faculty threw the match by putting Ms. Brown in the position of anchor. To those folks, I say, though she is but little, she is fierce. The match was fairly won by the seniors, and Mr. Carreau reluctantly presented them with the Spirit Trophy. That's it for your morning announcements. Have a great day, and be safe.